American taxpayers have limitless money. This is from the state of Michigan, dated February 19th, 2024. State of Michigan asked for volunteers to help house migrants. The Office of Global Michigan is looking for resident volunteers to house migrants in their homes and help integrate them into U.S. society. The Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Development says residents who participate must make a 90-day commitment. As part of the Refugee Support Program, residents are asked to help with relocation needs due to the border crisis. Gee, Joe Biden spent 3 years telling us there was no border crisis. Residents are asked to meet the person or family at the airport, helping find housing, enroll children in school, and help with finding employment for adults as part of the Welcome Corps. So you've got 3 different government agencies here, all soaking the American taxpayer for something that is completely illegal. That is illegal immigration. The Office of Global Michigan, the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Development, and the Welcome Corps, it sounds like all 3 of these are entirely funded by you and I, the American taxpayer. The Office of Global Michigan's goal is to make Michigan the home for opportunity for our immigrant, refugee, and ethnic communities, said Poppy Hernandez, Michigan's Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer and Director of the Office of Global Michigan. So you might think that if you simply laid off Poppy Hernandez and her entire equity and inclusion staff, that would be a good starting point to saving taxpayer money. They say other ways to help sponsor an individual or family is through the CHNV program for Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, or Venezuelan nationals. Now think about just how much money the United States government has to waste. It's your money. We have Marines sitting around doing nothing, and all the other military divisions of our armed services sitting around waiting for the Soviet Union to attack from the Cold War. And yet, what we should be doing is sending the Marines in to Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela and implement regime change. And then maybe we wouldn't be taking in refugees from these countries anymore. Gee, what a concept. Why is it that when communism fails, we have to pay the economic price for the failure of communism? Why are we taking in all of the victims of communism when they should be enacting change in their own countries? There is no reason that Cuba is poor, that Nicaragua is poor, or Venezuela is poor. Haiti, well, they've been poor ever since they had their slave revolt. So let's read on. Also available is Michigan's Ambassadors and Allies program to become an ambassador and share your sponsorship experience in the community, while allies and recruiters can support by being welcoming, recruiting, volunteering, donating, or mentoring refugees. The state of Michigan is also allowing residents to make donations for housing, legal services, interpretation, and education for K-12 children. You have to pay as the American taxpayer for all of this. But when a legal immigrant applies to immigrate to America, they have an entirely different experience. Their American sponsor must sign a paper swearing that they will provide for all of the financial needs of the legal immigrant when they arrive in America. In fact, you may lose your green card visa if you are a legal resident and you apply for financial aid. Even something as innocent as a student loan is counted as part of financial aid. Why? Because a legal immigrant applying for a student loan is taking away money from the American taxpayer. That's how legal immigration works. But the state of Michigan is saying if you are an illegal immigrant, the American taxpayer will pay for everything and you will never ever have to contribute for your own welfare. Listen to this line here. Refer and sponsor someone who has been registered as a refugee by the United Nations Refugee Agency, the UN. Think about the United Nations' role in all of this. This is the same United Nations that is passing decrees and votes ordering the United States of America, you, the American taxpayer, to pay climate reparations to developing nations. Some countries want major economies, which produce the most greenhouse gases, to pay for past emissions. That's right, the United Nations is ordering you to write a check to other countries. At the same time, these other countries are flooding our country with illegal immigrants. So not only do we have to pay these countries a fine for being productive with our economy, we then have to pay to resettle, to load our country down with people who don't work, who can't care for themselves, who have pre-existing medical conditions, and will bring their entire families over from the countries that the UN says we need to write checks to. Do you see how this is going? No matter what the problem is, the solution is always to reach into your wallet, to reach into your checkbook, because the American taxpayer has a bottomless bank account. There is substantial evidence indicating that the foreign-born population significantly contributes to the Michigan economy. Oh really? Then why aren't they coming to our country legally through the proper vetting process? I'd like to close by showing you a lesson from history. Scandinavia's first farmers slaughtered the hunter-gatherer population. Following the arrival of the first farmers in Scandinavia 5,900 years ago, the hunter-gatherer population was wiped out within a few generations. Another population change took place when people with genetic roots of a livestock herding people in southern Russia came to Scandinavia, and they themselves wiped out the previous farmer population. This is what unchecked immigration does, and it's coming to a town near you. And the worst part is that you have politicians who are cheerfully sticking you with the bill for paying for all of this. They don't pay for it, you do, because taxpayers have limitless funds. Thank you.